Alright, boom, you're back here again with Chief and None, Mr. FM Experiment, you know the vibes. So we got another experiment for you guys today. This time it's a bit of a different one. It's not going to be a player experiment, it's going to be a manager experiment. But if you do like the content and you do like these FM experiments, you can go ahead and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. I mean, it's up to you. No one's forcing you, but you know the vibes if you do. So today, it's a football experiment in a sense. A philosophy experiment. So on the one hand, you've got beautiful football. On the other hand, you've got pragmatic football. So in real life, these two people are embodied by Pep Guardiola and Jose Mourinho. So what I've done is create two different managers, one who's more pragmatist and one who prefers attractive football, giving them their birthdays of Jose Mourinho and Pep Guardiola respectively, and put them at their first management positions. And in addition to that, just to help with the experiment a bit, I've added a future transfer to their next big move, which for Pep was Barcelona and for Jose was FC Porto. So let's take a look at the managers now and see how they compare up. So for beautiful football, as you can see here, I've given him 20 work with youngsters, 15 attacking, tactical, technical, mental, less defending and fitness. Adaptability, I've given them 20, determination 15, discipline 20, management, motivation 15, jump playability and potential 15, negotiating, tactical knowledge 15. Gang and press, I didn't actually choose a tactical style, but it's just guesstimated that it's going to be gang and press based on the preferred formation that I chose and the playing style that I chose, which was attacking. He likes to fit players into preferred tactic like they do. Has willingness to work in lower leagues, I guess because he works for Barcelona B, that's why I put that on there. Allows creative freedom, looks for overlap, works ball into box, plays the ball at defence. And he comes out as resolute. And he also hates pragmatic football. So I've put that as a permanent fixture in the team. And as you can see here, he's got a transfer arranged. He's joining Barcelona on the 1st of July. So he only actually spent a year at Barca B. And I've put that in the game. So that's going to be good to see him go to Barcelona. In terms of plans, I've also added in he has a preference to be a manager for City and also a preference to be a manager for Bayern. Obviously I didn't need to include Barcelona because he's already joining them, and place of birth is Sant Pedro? Yeah. On the other hand, you have pragmatic football, who is Jose Mourinho. So defending, fitness, mental, tactical, working with youngsters, obviously not so good. Very adaptable, determined, level of discipline, man management, motivation, judging player, potential and ability, tactical knowledge, negotiating. And he prefers Route 1 football. And I've gone for 4-2-3-1 as his preferred formation. And starting at Lira, this is actually his second management position, so he actually had a stint at Benfica to start off with. But because he then went to Lira, I didn't want to send him to Lira because that would then stunt his growth, because going from Lira to then Porto would be pretty tough. So I've just stuck with Lira as the first management position. He was only at Benfica for a year, or less than a year even. So he was at Lira again for a year before moving to Porto. So it works out quite well because beautiful football again was only at Barcelona B for a year. So it works out perfectly. So in terms of personality, he comes out spirited, tends to make early tactical changes, as you know, fits players into preferred tactics, uses counter-attacks, targets high-profile signings. Again, willingness to work in lower leagues because Lira actually in the third tier of Portuguese football. Uses man marking, sits back to protect the lead, uses substitutes, uses crosses, tries to prevent crosses. In terms of plans, he has a preference to be manager for Chelsea, preference to be manager for Inter, preference to be manager for Madrid, preference to be a manager for United, preference to be a manager for Tottenham. So nothing else has been changed in the game. Unlike our other experiments, we've not removed the injuries because we want to see how they manage. I mean, we've given them the stats to manage correctly, so it's all up to them. So we're going to move forward 2 years into the future, because both the contracts I gave Beautiful Football and Pragmatic Football last 2 years, so it'll be interesting to see. It should hopefully, as long as they don't get sacked, fingers crossed, mean we get to see them how they've done at their first big clubs and where they're going from there. So we're going to go 2 years initially, so let's fast forward now. So the date is now 1st of July 2021. We are 2 years into the simulation, and we should have had a year with our managers at their first clubs and a year with our managers at their second clubs. So interesting to see what has gone on. So starting with Beautiful Football, as you can see, I think he's actually earned himself a new contract, but he's on 140k a week now. Reputation's increased slightly. He's actually picked up a few friends, interestingly enough. Michael Laudrup, Barcelona legend. Pep Guardiola, who he's modelled after, Barcelona legend. And Zinedine Zidane. Not sure why that has happened in terms of Zidane's Real Madrid manager. So why are you friends with him? He's meant to be your op. So in terms of overview, this is his second job. He's bought 3 players, spent 163 million. The highest transfer fee was 62 million on Diego Jota, and he received 48 million for Clement Lenglet. So he's won 3 awards in his career. He's won 1 cup and 1 league. Interesting, with a 64% win percentage and a goal difference of 62. So he's playing very, very attractive football and getting goals as well. So as you can see here, this is the tactics he's decided to play with, and they've spent big on some of these players. Todibo, Wagyu, Diego Jota. Those would be the 3 players he's probably bought. And he's stuck with the formation that we've implemented as his favourite formation. And yeah, so in terms of landmarks, you can see Barcelona B team. He wasn't happy with his vice captain, so he changed that. Then he won the Segunda Division B with Barcelona B. Then he obviously resigned and was hired as Barcelona manager. Then he bought Willian. Interesting. Sold some players. Bought Joel Matip. Interesting. So Todibo and Wagyu were probably bought the first season, so he didn't actually buy them. Then he qualified for the Champions League, Manager of the Month, Super Cup semi-final, runners up in the Super Cup. Built Diego Jota. Sold more players, Manager of the Month again. Okay, progression in the Champions League, all the way through to winning the Champions League. Incredible. So he won the Champions League in his first season as Barcelona manager. So he's really, really trying to mould himself like Pep and getting early success. So on to Mr. Pragmatic Football. As you can see, he's earning a lot less money here, only at 4.6. In terms of friends, he's picked up some Portuguese friends. Not going to pretend like I know who these people are. So in terms of overview, he spent a little bit less money, but he's made more money. And his biggest signing is Vitaly Mayalenko. Player I was close to signing once in an FM game, but I pulled out at the last minute. Can't remember why. And in terms of win percentage, he's only lost 7 games. He's got a higher win percentage of 74%. Well, okay, that's with Porto. But with Lira as well included, he has a lower win percentage of 56%. But he's got a better goal difference, interestingly enough. So even though he's not as adventurous, he's got a better goal difference. And he's won a league as well. Before we look at his stats, we'll look at his formation. As you can see, a few players missing, so he's probably sold them. But Malenka is playing at left back. Interesting. And he's bought Eric Dyer as well. Huh. So maybe it wasn't Malenka I was thinking about, because I thought he was attacking midfielder left. Ukrainian as well. Huh. So yeah, makes sense why he's playing left back. So in terms of landmarks, sold some players. Finished 14th, so not really a great season to be honest. Then he was hired as Porto manager, and he changed his preferred formation. So I'm kind of happy about that. Like, I was struggling a little bit to see what his preferred formation would be as Jose Mourinho, but he's gone with his preferred 4-2-3-1 wide. Hired his old player as assistant manager, so obviously this is a model of Mourinho. So he had Carvalho as his centre-back at Porto and Chelsea, so it's nice to see him hire him as assistant manager. Bought Vincent Janssen, runners-up in a cup. Sold Vincent Abubakar. So Mariga he sold as well. Manager of the month, qualified for the quarter or first round knockout. So he did win the Champions League quite early with Porto, but obviously that would be quite tough to win with this Porto team. Knocked out by PSG in the first knockout round. Then he won the league with Porto, so he got his first league on the board. Runners up in the cups, that's poor, because if they're favourites, they should have won that. And he sold Vincent Janssen for profit, so doing some good business there. So in the world, the 3 best players are apparently Messi, João Felix and Kylian Mbappe, followed by Ronaldo, Ruben Neves. That's some interesting stuff there. Let's see what the biggest transfer in the game's been. So this year you had Lautaro for 102 million to Chelsea, Sancho to Chelsea 97 million. Chelsea spending big. Even got Coman for 80 million. And first season 29 million for Edouard. And in the Ballon d'Or you had Kylian Mbappe and Ronaldo. Somehow Ronaldo always just seems to win another Ballon d'Or. I don't understand it. Like 35, 36, he's just a beast. It's the earliest I've seen Mbappe win the Ballon d'Or though. So he could be in for another incredible run. But that's it for now. So what we're going to do, we're going to push forward and go 8 years forward and push to 10 years in the simulation and just see how the guys are doing, if they've still stayed at their clubs, if they moved on to their preferred clubs in their career plans, just what goes on. That's what this FM experiment is all about. So we're going to push forward. So we're back. The date is 1st of July 2029. We are now 10 years into the simulation. And I'm excited to see what's happened to our guys. So let's jump right into it and see how Beautiful Football's doing. So Beautiful Football is now the manager of Tottenham. Very, very interesting. And looking at his history, he left Barcelona, went to Chelsea, then went to Athletic Bilbao, before going to Benfica, Leipzig, and now Tottenham. So that's a very, very interesting journey. Let's dive into it. So as you can see, he's just happy to be here, friendly FC, friends with everyone under the bloody sun. Mark Hughes, Pellegrini, Allegri, just happy to be here FC. Just wants to be friends with everyone. So in terms of overview, he's now had 7 club jobs. Shortest time at the club, 200 days, won 11 awards. Longest time at the club, 1,000 days. Almost spent $1 billion, close to $1 billion spent. And the most he spent on a player, Paulo Dybala for 110. And most he sold Diogo Jota, so he made a bit of profit on Diogo Jota. So he's only just joined Tottenham, so he's only been in charge for 11 days. But still, he somehow managed to have a win percentage of 66%. I'm assuming Tottenham made the Club World Cup, and that's why the competitive games are still coming thick and fast. But overall in his career, played 342 games, won 207, win percentage of 60% with a goal difference of 330. Wow. And he's only won 2 cups and 2 leagues, so he's only added 1 title each to his resume. So we'll see how that stacks up to Pragmatic Football. But let's jump into his history and go through the landmarks. So at Barcelona, made some signings and made some sales. Bought Rodri again. Won the Super Cup. So is that the only thing he's won, the Super Cup? That can't be right. And he won the league the next year. But other than that, since he stopped, stripped Messi of captaincy and appointed Griezmann, so he's just losing the plot really. But you can see why Barcelona sacked him. He struggled to do anything else. Spent a load of money, but really struggled. But Chelsea took a punt on him, and he made some more signings. One manager a month. But yeah, only spent a season there, and again, nothing he could really do, so Chelsea got rid of him. Then Athletic Bilbao hired him, so I guess a step down in terms of reputation and size of club, to sort of regain his stature. But again, couldn't do anything and got sacked again. Benfica came in for him. Again, a smaller club, not the elite, but couldn't really do anything for them either. Runners up in the league's the best he could do. Not signed anyone of note, but again, he's still spending loads of money. And yet again, another sacking. So that's his 4th sacking already. Then on to Leipzig, and he changed his formation. Interesting. So he's also gone to a 4-2-3-1 wide. But for Leipzig, the best he could do was runners up in the German Cup. But that's a good victory over Bayern in the semi-final. But finishing 11th is very poor. Considering he was there from the start of the season, that's poor. But Tottenham actually invested in him. So it wasn't like he got sacked at Leipzig. Daniel Levy said, we actually want you. We want you. And they've signed him. So let's see what happens in the future. Because, yeah, I mean, I wonder if he'll go back to any of these previous clubs. Because he really needs to prove himself again. Like, it seems beautiful football doesn't really work in FM. Well, actually, let's not jump the gun. Let's see how Pragmatic Football is done. And Pragmatic Football is unemployed. He's on the dole. He's waiting for JSA. He's not got a job at all. But he is wanted. So he's wanted by Milan. So you'd expect him to be signed and snapped up very soon. But let's have a look at his history. So he stayed at Porto for 4 years before joining Man United. So he did join one of his long-term plans and then got to Sevilla. So one of his long-term plans has now disappeared because he's joined Man United. So he doubtfully goes there again. Again, he seemed quite friendly. Like, they've got similar friends in common. So he's friends with Lucien Favre, but also Michael Laudrup, just like Beautiful Football, and Zinedine Zidane, just like Beautiful Football. So in terms of overview, as you can see here, he's had less managerial jobs, but won more awards. Spent less money, just about, and spent less on his highest fee, but 102 million for Rodrigo, but obviously earned a lot less in terms of sales. And he's on the Hall of Fame for his nation. So that's one thing Beautiful Football hasn't been able to do yet. Played more games than Beautiful Football at 409, and a better win percentage at 67%, and a better goal difference as well. That's incredible. So even though he plays pragmatic football and we've weighted everything towards defensive, he's actually got the better goal difference. But he's been relegated. So that's going to be interesting to see where that happened. But he's won more cups and more leagues. We left him here, selling Vincent Janssen. Let's see now. So he won the Super Cup, signing players, progress in the Champions League, which is good. Knocked out by Barcelona, not great. First match up with Beautiful Football, he lost. Won the league, as you expect Porto to do every year. Portuguese Cup, as you expect them to do pretty much near enough every year as well. Super Cup again. Progress in the Champions League. Is he going to be able to get Champions League over the line? No, knocked out by Napoli, not good. League again, just consistent with the league. Super Cup. So a lot of his trophies have come in Portugal. So again, it's easy obviously to win when you're the best club in the league, when there's no clear rivals. So we'll probably have to take his achievements with a little bit more of a pinch of salt, but he's still done the job. So yeah, so won more leagues and then left as Porto manager. So he wasn't sacked. He hasn't been sacked yet. Man United invested in him. So he's he stuck with Ricardo Carvalho as his assistant manager and hired Carlton Cole. Carlton Cole is the under-18s coach, interesting. And he stripped De Gea of captaincy. That seems like such a Jose thing to do, so yeah. And he sold Alex Telles. I'm pretty sure he would he have been in charge when Alex Telles was at Porto? He might have sold him twice, maybe just didn't like him. Super Cup runners up. Did he get any titles over the line? With United. So this is where he bought Rodrigo for. Runners up in the Premier League. But he wasn't able to get anything over the line with Man United, so he struggled, and that's why he was sacked a year into the job. Well, 18 months into the job, effectively. Then he was hired as Sevilla manager, and he finished 7th in his first season, so he was hired sort of midway into the job. Then he got his time to mould the team in his nature. Was he able to achieve anything? Yes, he won the Europa Conference League. So even though he won the Europa Conference League and finished 7th, I guess 7th isn't good enough, he got sacked. But where did the relegation on his rap sheet come from then? So the relegation came from the first season. So in Portugal, there's actually 5 teams that get relegated. And even though, wow, he finished with better goal difference, more wins, same points, but I guess it's a head-to-head or maybe a playoff, I have no idea. But that's harsh, so 1 blemish on his record. So as you can see, fun little comparison between the two and the differences between them. But that's it for the managers update. So let's have a quick look at what else is going on in the world at the moment. So the biggest club in the world is Barcelona. The biggest players in the world are Kylian Mbappe, Pedri, and René Oppedam. So that's a regen, number 3 at Arsenal. Dutch elite winger. Then Fabio Facine, midfield centre, world class. Oof. Then Kai Havertz, Ivan Taylor, Welsh maybe? German, Ivan Taylor. Fair enough, elite winger. Haaland, and followed by Hernan Galaza, elite winger as well. So Haaland's at Barcelona. Let's have a look who's been winning the Ballon d'Ors. So Messi couldn't let Cristiano Ronaldo outdo him, came back and won. Before Ronaldo couldn't let Messi outdo him and came back and won again. So they finished on the same amount of Ballon d'Ors in the end. Then Mbappe had a run to get 3. Dybala finally came to the table and won 1. Before Mbappe came back, before Haaland said, nah, it's my time. And shone with 2 in a row. So in terms of transfers, we had a 94 million Facine to United. So we had 118 million the year before, Balderson to Hertha, who somehow always end up with money. Then Hertha again, 162 million, so that's the record at the moment. They spent 316 million in 1 season. Crazy. Then 122 Liverpool. So I guess they're making money as well. That's 243 million. Bloody hell. And Liverpool sent that. Ooh. 165 million is the record. So Esposito to Man City. 117. City again. And Dejan Tadibo, 148 million. Wow. Of course. The man, the myth, the legend, Kylian Mbappe. World record transfer fee. Game record transfer fee. Obviously, Neymar, still the record. At 228, I think it was. So 210, very close to it. But PSG recouping. Then Pogba to Barcelona for 103 million. Which happened just after our last update. So a couple of days after the last update, eclipsed Laturo. But that is it for this update. This is part 1. So we're going to be continuing, obviously, with managers. Their careers are going to be a lot longer. So rather than hit you with a massive update, I'm going to hit you with smaller updates, bite-sized chunks, so you can take them in and really enjoy them. But again, housekeeping rules, subscribe and hit the like button, smash it up. Share this far and wide. Retweet it if you see it on Twitter or on Instagram, repost it. And just give me your comments, guys. What experiments do you want to see? Write down in the comments on here or send me a message on Instagram or Twitter, and then we'll get back to you. We'll make the experiments happen, and we'll just continue to enjoy the randomness and craziness of FM. So I've been your host, The Chief. This has been Chief of None, and we'll see you again next time. Peace.